recorded at our studios in Austin, Texas and Portland, Oregon. It's Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. Hey everyone, I'm the Ben of that.
And I'm the Lesley. This is a twice-monthly podcast about television, genre, and storytelling in which we watch an episode of a show and explore the history of television one episode at a time.
And boy, are we going to talk about genre today. It is the second to last episode of our adult animated series. And if you're just now joining us, we're talking about Venture Bros, or Venture Brothers, I should say. The pastiche parody of adventure cartoons that ran on Adult Swim from 2004 to 2018. The show was created by former Tick writer Jackson Public and satirizes a number of mid-century pop culture pulp stories, including Doc Savage, The Hardy Boys, Marvel Comics, Johnny Quest, C-Lab, and other Hanna-Barbera properties.
Venture Brothers covers the story of Rusty Venture, a mad scientist and industrialist who, with the help of his lethal bodyguard Brock Sampson and twin sons Hank and Dean Venture, runs Venture Industries, where he both develops technological advances for sale and acts as a sort of scientific superhero against characters like the Monarch.
I had trouble referring to this character as a superhero.
Well...
Because obviously, like, this show... Folks, if you haven't watched Venture Brothers, he kind of is. He kind of isn't. It's kind of, I mean, that's the thing about, like, pastiche and parody is, like, it's combining aspects from a number of other types of like genres and storytelling traditions that are American and in this case a lot of the storytelling traditions that it's taking from are stuff from like a lot of like the early days of mass media, right? So it's not pulling from like our modern conception of Spider-Man, it's pulling from weird like early 1960s pre-Marvel superheroes, quote unquote.
Right.
And also this dude sucks. Rusty, the character, as a man, sucks.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's hard to lump him together with literally Superman and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, I struggle to call him a superhero, but he does have super villains and he does have gadgets and he does go on little quests to stop them. But he's also, you know, a deeply cynical character who is trying to make a lot of money. So.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's also what I like about it is that it breaks out of those kind of conventions. Venture Brothers has a sporadic release cycle, producing 7 seasons in 14 years. The show's on and off schedule and its auteur nature has kind of produced an elaborate story in which characters are actually allowed to grow and change over time, something not true of most animated shows. I was thinking about that earlier today as I was kind of doing research on this. Is like there were a lot of like characters that drop out of the show that don't come back. Mm-hmm. A lot of characters that are added into the show a couple seasons in that then stay there. Dean specifically has a wardrobe change that affects like the latter half of the show.
Which is also very unusual. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah. The whole point of, I mean, in a lot of animation, like we joke about like shows like your standard more kid-oriented cartoons, especially like literally just giving characters one specific costume. You know, and running with it. There is the BoJack Horseman look, the Ed, Edd and Eddy t-shirts, you know, what have you. Whereas, you know, these characters are allowed to kind of fluctuate. And I think that's a really fun aspect of the show.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, what is another show? Oh, I remember what it is. It was Gravity Falls, where Mabel changes sweaters constantly, changes clothes a lot.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but that's very unusual.
I mean, it's got to do with, hey, talking about the very name of our show, it's got to do with the fact that when a lot of cartoons are meant to be rebroadcast and let's say syndicated, they're meant to be viewed out of order.
Right. You can view any of them at any time, and that's the deal.
Yeah, and that's certainly not the case here. I mean, you can, but like there is an overarching plot to the Venture Brothers.
Sure.
Despite how it looks, something that's, you know, not common for most stories in this medium. That's becoming more of the rule and less of the exception with like the binge model, I think. But
yeah, that's a good point.
I'm thinking stuff like, obviously we covered Tuca and Birdie earlier this season.
Right. Yeah. So that is this is your pick?
Yes. Yeah, sure is.
Why don't you tell me more about that? Why'd you pick it?
I love all the things that it's drawing from, and I love all the things that kind of, I like all the component pieces that are going into this. Like I listed a bunch of things in the very beginning of this script. that are the various pieces that make it together, whether that's stuff like Marvel Comics. Obviously, there's a character that's pretty much Mr. Fantastic. There's a character that's pretty much Spider-Man that show up. But also, I have a affinity for like that kind of pulp era of storytelling, both like the kind of cornier aspects that go with it, like Last Time On,
Right.
sort of formatting, but also like, the kind of subject matter of like that kind of like adventure stories for, mid-century audiences.
Right.
I like that kind of shit, obviously, or else I wouldn't be such a big comics dork and have a giant
Clearly.
comics poster of
Sure.
like Doctor Doom behind me.
Also, I'm sorry, I got way ahead of us. I was just really curious when I watched it. I've just like, it's been genuinely burning in my brain.
Oh, totally.
I genuinely wanted to know.
I mean, we'll get into it. I find the show obviously deeply problematic.
Oh, sure.
It is the definition of off-color humor.
Oh, yeah.
And, some of it remains funny but edgy, and some of it we could just do without, period.
Yeah.
And I don't sing its praises for that reasons, but I really do like its stylistic approach, and I really do like the characters.
Sure.
I wish a good half of those jokes weren't in there.
Yeah. I had similar feelings when I watched it, and I was watching it with Hector, of course, and Hector was like, wow, this was one of those shows that was a lot funnier 10 years ago. I was like, yeah.
I tried to pick an episode that had that's mostly fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, mostly fine. Mostly fine.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 stinkers in this one.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into some of the voice work. Chris McCullough, who goes by the stage name of Jackson Public with a K, is a former writer on the animated version of The Tick, which, by the way, that was one of the other 2 picks that I might have. Not sure yet.
Yeah.
Might be The Tick. That was one of the other 2. That's right. Anyway, he's a former writer on the animated version of The Tick. Public voices both Hank Venture and the Monarch, as well as a number of side characters.
Character actor James Urbaniak voices Rusty as a deeply cynical character who grew up as the boy sidekick to his father's similarly absurd adventures. Venture is detached from his own children and often struggles to relate to them as they go on adventures together. Urbaniak, I like him. I feel like I
don't know what else he's done.
Well, he's in 1 episode of Better Call Saul.
Okay.
So write that down.
All right. So mark that down.
Let's see, what else? Oh, he was on The Review. He was, did you ever watch The Review, the Comedy Central show starring Andy Daly? Okay, well, there's a show called The Review, which starred Andy Daly.
Sure.
And James Urbaniak played a fake producer on that fake reality show that they were making for that. Boy, what is he from? I guess he's just one of those guys that has, I mean, I'm looking at his IMDb, and he's got a lot of minor credits here and there. He's just kind of one of those guys that has a very distinct and recognizable voice that once you stumble across, you're like, oh, I think that's James Urbaniak.
Kind of like Patrick Warburton.
Oh, kind of like Patrick Warburton, yeah. I mean,
we'll
I'm looking around here, literally 4 episodes on The Office,
right.
2 episodes of Adventure Time. There's nothing. The thing we can point to with him is Venture Brothers.
Okay.
Gotcha. 26 episodes of Difficult People. There we go.
Oh, okay.
That was the Billy Eichner show, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, and Julie Klausner,
yes. So, Doc Hammer is the co-creator of the show with Public. He voices Dr. Girlfriend, Billy Quizboy, and a number of other characters on the show, while also serving as the show's co-writer.
Patrick Warburton, there he is, voices Brock Samson, the Swedish killing machine that Dr. Venture keeps around as his bodyguard. Warburton is probably best known for his live-action performances as Buddy on Seinfeld and in Rules of Engagement, but he has extensive voice acting career, including on Family Guy and as a number of Disney characters, including Buzz Lightyear. I like that Buzz Lightyear movie that he's in, that is a weird spin-off that they made for the direct-to-VHS market.
So let me tell you, when I was watching this episode, so I'm not very familiar with this show, to be honest with you. I maybe saw some of it last decade or in the aughts or whatever, but I didn't really know a lot about it. But when Brock is first introduced in the episode, he is snoring and groaning. And I heard one groan from him, and I looked at Hector and I was like, is that Patrick Warburton? Because he just has such a distinctive voice that it was just, I clocked it immediately. Immediately.
So distinctive and so prolific, obviously. To talk about the Tick, no kidding. He's the first live action Tick. He's Gronk from Emperor's New Groove. He is the safety and introduction video for Soaring Over California.
Right.
When you ride that, he's dressed up in his little pilot uniform and he does the whole "Welcome to Soaring Over California, no flash photography" kind of
wow,
voice.
you do a really good you give good Patrick Warburton.
Thank you. It's
You're welcome.
Truly one of my 5 talents.
There you go.
You know, fun, just a distinctive voice. Very prolific voice acting career. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Apparently, I think it's Doc Hammer who did an interview where he said that he would purposely, there are some sounds Patrick Warburton just cannot seem to make, and he purposely included them in the scripts to fuck with him. And I have a feeling, based off of an exchange that happens in the episode that we picked, Scuba's one of them. Because there is that scene where Hank is asking Patrick Warburton's character to say Scuba.
Scuba. Say Scuba again. Scuba. Yeah.
I have a feeling that's one of them.
I have a feeling you could be right. So, and Dr. Byron Orpheus, this episode's guest character, who is certainly not based on any other famous comic book magician, is voiced by Stephen Rattazzi. And Lisa Hammer voices Triana Orpheus, Brian Orpheus's goth daughter, Gothic.
Yes. Last but not least, the episode we watched today is season 1, episode 5, I guess?
So I'd say 6. I'd say 6.
In addition to, as I stated earlier, its sporadic release cycle, it's one of those things where like the pilot counts as a special, and there's been a couple of specials that aren't part of seasons. It's an oddly formatted show. Anyway, we watched a season 1 episode called Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Magic. While staying up late in their father's laboratory, Hank and Dean Venture witness a powerful vampire walking out of Rusty's latest invention. When they ask their dad to confront the vampire, they learn that Dr. Byron Orpheus is actually a renter at Venture Industries' compound. Their meeting is no accident, as Orpheus warns the Venture's latest invention is in fact tearing open the fabric of the cosmos and must be stopped, and only Dr. Strange can do
Dr.
it.
Orpheus. Yeah.
Leslie, you've already asked me the first question, but I'm happy to answer the second question if you'll prompt me.
Sure. Why did you pick this particular episode?
Because I love Doctor Strange.
Well, sure. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? I mean, this dude speaks like exactly like Steve Ditko, like late 60s or mid 60s Doctor Strange.
It is very
by the hoary oath of Horgoth,
Oh,
the crimson bands of the Cyterac compel thee.
Oh, yeah.
Like, kind of bullshit. I like Doctor Strange, and like, long before old Benedict Cumberbatch was Doctor Strange, this is Doctor Strange. Like, voice-wise. I don't know. I mean, like, literally. Like, that is the reason I picked this, is because I like Doctor Strange, and this, so many of these episodes kind of latch on to one particular aspect from, like, those kind of pulp stories, and usually it's the introduction of a new character that is a kind of pastiche reference to something that's come prior, and this one is Doctor Strange.
Sure.
Literally the next episode is Mr. Fantastic.
Okay.
Or no, a couple episodes later is Mr. Fantastic. I think the next episode is pretty much David Bowie is in the next one.
Oh, really?
Like the next episode is like practically that Scooby-Doo episode with like the ghost pirates? Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what the next episode is.
Got it.
I think Venture is a fun show. Obviously, I think it's got some deeply problematic elements.
Sure.
It's got some homophobia. It's got some pretty bad transphobia.
That
have people, including the show's creators, have kind of tried to explain that away in a way that's more progressive. But, that's come in latter seasons, and it's not present in those early seasons. And if you only watch those early seasons and don't read any creator interviews, it's kind of hard not to just read it as straight up homophobic.
It's a bad time. Bad time.
I'm curious about your relationship with the show, Leslie. Obviously, you said you've watched a bit here and there.
Right. Like I said, like I briefly dated somebody who was really into it in like the, in like, oh gosh, oh five maybe? I don't know.
So right when it came out.
Yeah. I was like, oh, let's do Show Venture Brothers. And that's fine. But I watched a few episodes here and there, didn't really get that into it. I watched it again now with Hector, of course. And it was like, well, this is of an era. This is of an era, isn't it? This to me, it's very much a quintessential. It's what people think of, I think, when they think of adult animation. I think this is a great example of what people think of, like beyond the Family Guy and stuff. Like this era is what you think of when you think of adult animation as it branches out on its own. Because people were trying a lot of interesting new things, and like you said, it's edgy or whatever, and like edgelord stuff. Because it was new back then, it was novel, and I think that's part of what made it so fascinating at the time. Of course, now it's kind of over, but back then I could see it really pushed some envelopes.
Oh, absolutely. I want to be clear. I'm not trying to defend. I know you know this. This is more directed at the audience. I'm not trying to defend any of these particular jokes as like it's okay because they're edgy. I'm saying that some of the milder ones fall into the off-color, edgy, but still kind of okay category, and some of the worst ones are just unforgivably bad.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like the spectrum of like what's acceptable in this show is like shifted over from what would be more standardly acceptable now.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know if this is what I necessarily truly think of when I think of adult animation, but it is absolutely what I think of when I think of Adult Swim.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
When I think of Adult Swim, I think of Space Ghost, home movies.
All of that genre, yeah.
And why can I not remember the name of the show in which the characters are fast food? What's the name of that program?
Oh my God. It's the one that's got the soda and meatball.
I am 30 to 40 years old and I do not deserve this, or whatever the line is. And I don't need this.
Yes.
What is that? What is the name of that fucking show?
We are totally... Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Hunger Force, yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway,
I picture Aqua Teen Hunger Force, home movies, Space Ghost, and this. And I'm like, that's what Adult Swim means to me. And obviously now that means like Rick and Morty and shit. But like for a time, there was a very specific bubble that was like those 4 shows. I'll throw in, I believe Metalocalypse is also early Adult Swim. That might be wrong. Never seen it. Oh, that's not true. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes. Speaking of which, Brendan Small, who is Metalocalypse and Home Movies, is also a frequent voice actor in this.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah. I picture this as like peak, what I picture as when I picture like Adult Swim in the same way. If you say Toonami, I just picture like Dragon Ball Z or whatever. Like,
what else was on Toonami? Because that's all I picture too. I pictured that, and maybe was Pokemon on there? Was there a Pokemon involved?
I think I cannot believe I'm about to say this. I think Toonami might have been a little more action oriented. I feel like someone decided, maybe rightfully so, that Pokemon counted solidly as like children's anime.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Dragon Ball was a little more like teen oriented.
Okay.
But when I hear Toonami, I literally think like Naruto and Bleach.
Naruto, that's what I was trying to think of. Yeah. Naruto. Okay.
Yeah, so much like, you say Toonami, I hear Dragon Ball Z. When you say Adult Swim, I hear Venture Brothers. And I think it's got like all the hallmarks of that. I think it's got talking about pushing envelopes. Like this is certainly like I'm not even talking about the humor here. I just mean like the concept of the show. That's a thing that only happens exact time and place of like, you need show creators who are nostalgic for a media era that came like directly before they were born in an adult format.
That's true.
That combines certain, that in a independent wing of a large animation studio that maybe allows its creators to get a little more auteur. You know what I'm getting at? Like,
I think that a lot of the appeal too is it's just what you said, that there's like a bygone era situation going on where like there's some nostalgia going on, but then it's irreverent, which makes it an absolute gas for people. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I think there's like a number of, this is some like obviously it's got a retro aesthetic and everything, but it is some like
Mm-hmm.
innovative media, and it's like pushing on some things that maybe now seem a little more trite, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
But like the idea of like, oh, it's like we're making an adult oriented Johnny Quest.
Right.
Like it's definitely
Well,
something that doesn't
that's-
happen before 2002. You know what I mean?
That's actually, it's funny that you say that because that's how Hector described it. Was like, imagine if Johnny Quest like were grown up and kind of psychopathic. So
Yeah,
so
pretty much. Yeah. I just think like now it's so easy. We've talked about this before. We talked about this during the Futurama episode. It is so easy to be like, what if we took an intellectual property and we adultified it?
right.
It's like the easiest move for any network to make. CW tried that thing with the Powerpuff Girls like 2 years ago.
Oh God, which
cared
I
about.
couldn't even watch it, to be honest. I just couldn't do it.
Like that feels like a very that feels like a slam dunk. That's the basketball term. Took me a second.
I was like, come on, basketball, you can do it.
That seems like a slam dunk move now. Take a property originally for kids or teens or whatever and adultify it or whatever, and that's how we get, or what if this story that you liked as a child were actually about depression or whatever?
Well, but the thing has been that the reason why this became so prolific to begin with is that, when this started out as a fresh and novel idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's sort of like, okay, I liken this to the first time that I ever watched Dirty Dancing.
Sure.
The first time that I ever watched Dirty Dancing, I was like, I don't like this. I think it's dumb. I don't get it. Why, why this? Why that? Why is this important? And my friend had to explain to me that all the tropes that I was sick of seeing and that I thought were very cheesy, like Dirty Dancing created those. Like they first appeared here. They had not been done before. And so I think that adult animation of this particular speed, of this particular flavor, can be viewed in the exact same way.
Completely. Yeah. This is when that was novel.
Like it hadn't been done yet.
Let's make an adult-oriented Johnny Quest in which Johnny Quest has trauma.
Right.
Which now there are like 5 shows that are that, and back in 2004 that was a brand new idea.
Right.
Yeah. Similar to what you said about Dirty Dancing, though, I'm having that now. It is Halloween, which means it is horror movie season.
That it is.
I am rewatching and watching for the first time some classics, and that means I watched Blair Witch the other day. Speaking of media from a very specific time.
Yeah. Had you seen that before?
No, first time watching Blair Witch.
Really? Well, welcome to that.
But obviously, having grown up in the post-Blair Witch era, that means I have seen and been aware of a lot of found footage horror movies.
Sure.
And once again, there was a time when that was novel.
It was super novel. And I remember being there. Sorry to nostalgia dump all over you, but I remember, that time in my life when it was super novel to me. I was like, holy shit. This is it was absolutely bonkers. Are you kidding me? Like there was a whole like alternate reality game and people thought that it was real and it was serious, man.
Yeah, of course. But and I understand and respect that. And as someone who has grown up in the largely in the 2010s, the era of VHS and Paranormal Activities 1 through 6, it dilutes.
Yeah,
there was a time when that was novel, and I'm not alive during that time. I mean, I was born before 99, but you know what I mean.
I think that it's interesting that you made this choice, Ben, if for no other reason than just to examine a staple of the genre that is. We've been very picky this season with our adult animation. We've been we're not doing Family Guy. We're not doing The Simpsons. Not only because everybody's talked about it before, but also because but this show, I'm not likening it to Family Guy or The Simpsons, but it is of that subgenre that is very much dependent upon being edgy and shocking and doing toilet humor and that sort of thing. So I think that this was a really bold choice, and I appreciate you making it because I wanted to talk about this without having to talk about, Family Guy or The Simpsons. So thank you.
Sure. Yeah, I will say that I think this show has a lot of really smart comedic sensibilities, and that it takes a lot of what would otherwise be humor that just doesn't appeal to me. And by which I mean the more toilet or sexually oriented humor,
right?
Not the homophobia.
Sure. Well, yeah, that humor does not appeal and will never appeal.
Yeah. Jokes that would be lowbrow, but because of the delivery of its vocal talent, or
yes.
whatever else, they sell it a little better. I'm thinking,
right.
Okay, when Dr. Orpheus like asks like, why did you make it lock from the inside, and Rusty does like a very troubled like 45 seconds where he's like, it's the kind of thing that would be more suited toward hanky panky, a little bit of a solo, and he goes on for like 45 seconds about this or whatever, and eventually Orpheus just goes, oh, I see. And there's like a half beat pause or whatever, and then just Rusty goes, all right, can I get you another brew or whatever?
Oh,
just
yeah.
Offers him like, that would be a joke, like, I don't know, like, why is this closet locked from the inside? Oh, for fucking, it would be.
Yeah, it's for fucking, but no,
that could be a very boring joke if it isn't for the way that James Urbaniak delivers the awkwardness and then the weird kind of like follow-up anti-punchline that follows that, where he's just like, okay, I've overstepped, my bad, can I get you a beer?
I do think that the can I get you a brew, like that was really well played. I think that was quite funny.
Yeah. Like that joke would not, that joke would be like the most obvious low-hanging fruit,
sure,
on its own, but it is sold so much by this show's weird comedic sensibilities.
Sure. I'm definitely, I was more amused by that joke than I would have been if it had not been delivered by somebody who's so good at voice acting, to be completely frank with you.
Which, talk about, we were struggling to find other credits for these kind of guys, but like,
right.
That's the whole thing we talk about, in kind of like modern voice acting.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Leslie, go for it. We're on the same page, so go for it.
It's the Robin Williams problem. Mm-hmm. And this is just yet another example of it. Like, if it were,
I think we can totally just call it the Chris Pratt problem from henceforth.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, I guess it is unfair to call it the Robin Williams problem because, while he was a huge celebrity, he was also very well suited to do a great voice acting job. So it feels unfair, but that is how it started. That is the origin of it. As unfair as it seems to point that out.
But it's the conversation we constantly have about like voice acting talent versus actors who can lend vocal credibility to a project.
Right.
And perhaps exemplified by the Chris Pratt half-assing the Mario voice.
My God.
A thing we're all familiar with now from the last 3 weeks or so.
Unfortunately.
But these are strong voice acting talents, and we cut back to like King of the Hill, and it's the same thing with Mike Judge and Stephen Root and whatnot, and same for plenty of these shows. Obviously I've got my beef with Rick and Morty, but like Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
Anyway, like this is a level of delivery that's suited very well to animation. And it feels not silly to say. No, I'm taking back that caveat. It does not feel silly to say this.
It does not feel silly at all. I'm not going to feel silly.
Animation is obviously prone to comedy. It's very good for comedy because animation allows for certain types of exaggeration, and exaggeration can lead to comedy. No kidding. But I like the show's like kind of subtler moments, like the "Can I get you a brew?" or "See, Dad, I told you he was in our house."
Right.
Or
there's a good explanation.
Yeah. Or even just when Orpheus is trying to get Triana and Dean to hang out and says something to the effect of like, perhaps you and he like stalls out and Rusty just goes, Dean, his name is Dean.
Dean, his name is Dean. Yeah.
Like, I like the show. The show does a really good job of doing like big, huge dramatic moments. Obviously those huge musical swells whenever Orpheus talks.
Oh yeah.
And whatnot, but it also does like really good, like subtle humor that you wouldn't expect to see on like a laugh track sitcom.
Yeah, definitely. I could not agree more.
That's why I like it. And I think truly the what makes this show, I don't want to sound trite and say magical for me, is the delivery.
So
but like
magical.
It's all in the delivery.
Sure. That makes total sense. I'm totally behind you on that.
Yeah.
I think you're totally right. And I think that that's interesting too, because this is, once again, because of the fact that it was one of the pioneers of haha, we're so edgy toilet humor and swearing and stuff. This is a brand new world of voice acting. Like, how do you even convey this? What do you do? Like when you're voicing an animated character, but it's naughty. So I think that it's interesting to observe that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I say like this can only happen in this specific window.
Right.
Where we're on the nostalgic wave of, again, mid-century pulp stuff, like, plus like, oh, you get more creative freedom with this. This is the independent arm of a already successful network, etc.
Right.
It allows them to do what they want to do, and what they want to do is this, and this is how we got this.
This is how we got it. So there you go.
It very much, and look, maybe I'm inferring. I don't, I'm not an expert on this show, but
Sure.
it feels like it's kind of weird production timeline. Once again, like 7 seasons in 14 years.
Yeah.
Feels like because of that, it doesn't feel like it's rushed into a 1-a-year format. It feels like maybe they get like to spend some more time creatively on it. You know what I mean? There's like more room to breathe in the creative process.
Sure.
Again, maybe I'm purely just inferring. But that's certainly what I'd like to think.
I mean, it's a valid, hypothesis to have, I think. But that's just me.
Well, the character design.
The character design is quite good. I have to say.
Talking about being able to identify characters from silhouettes, something we haven't said in a number of episodes. But everyone's got a very nice stark shape that I really like.
Yeah. You
can see the seams in a lot of this show, and I think that's part of the charm also.
When's the last time that you had watched this before this moment?
Maybe about 3 years ago or so.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those shows like King of the Hill, where I keep thinking like, oh, I should go back and rewatch that. And then I watch like 2 seasons of it, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then, like, so I don't think I've ever actually gotten past like season 2 or 3.
How interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I watched a bit of a season 7, the final season of the show. I watched a bit of the season 7 episode.
Okay.
Just to see. Animation, drastically different.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, much more 3D space oriented. No shit. But the 2018 modern version of the show feels very modern. Very modern animation. Sweeping more so. Whereas I feel like when I watch the season 1, season 2 stuff, I can like count the number of assets on my hand.
I see.
It's 1 background and 2 moving pictures.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten past like season 3 or so. It's just one of those shows where I'll start it from the beginning when I feel the need to watch it, and then something else grabs my interest. Before I get too far into it. It's same thing with 30 Rock. I don't think I've ever seen the last 2 seasons of 30 Rock.
I haven't watched a lot of 30 Rock at all, actually, and I'm okay with that.
Yes, I remember.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right.
Yeah, I think a lot of the charm of the show is in its seams. I think that you can kind of see how it's cobbled together brings a lot of like kind of like visual charm to it. I'm thinking like when they're in the laboratory or whatever, and you see like the green smoke pouring out of the machine or whatever.
Sure.
How that's like that like semi-animated green smoke effect is like maybe what most of the budget went to. It kind of looks like.
Yeah. I totally see what you're saying.
Or like how many effects are maybe caused only by lighting and the character model themselves doesn't change.
Right.
That kind of stuff. Like I think the low budget charm is an important part of that.
I agree with you, and I think that a lot of that is see, that's the really ironic thing, in my opinion, is that a lot of the charm of a lot of these shows turned out to be, in their kind of homemade feel when they were trying to do something that was quite serious. But yeah,
I wonder if that's like an adult animation thing so far for a lot of these shows, because I'm mentally comparing everything we covered for season 1 versus everything we covered for season 2, and I'm thinking about each of those shows. I'm like, oh, King of the Hill is Mike Judge's show.
Yes.
Home Movies is Brendan Small's show.
Yes.
This is Jackson Public and Doc Ammer's show. Whereas like news radio doesn't have an authorial voice.
That's very true. That's very true. I guess it is very interesting to see how adult animation is watermarked in that way.
The only season 1 show I can think of that I would think of in those terms is 30 Rock has Tina Fey's show.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. Don't ask me. I haven't watched a lot of it, so I shouldn't really say either way.
Well, just knowing that she's like the head writer and,
sure.
and she's also the star, and it's about,
Mm-hmm.
Writing, especially because it's about being a comedy writer in New
Right.
York, and she's a
In New
comedy writer
York.
in New York. Like, that kind of makes it her show in a way that the other ones don't.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm now scrolling through our past episodes. No shit.
Ha!
Tuca and Birdie is Lisa Hannah Walt's show.
I mean, very much so. Yes, that's very true.
Whereas, let's see, Ted Lasso, Ugly Betty, Dick Van Dyke, 30 Rock,
Mm-hmm.
Workaholics. Workaholics kinda, I guess. Oh, MASH. MASH is very much Alan Alda's show.
Yeah, that's true.
Party Down, Superstar.
So I mean, but I think that for the most part, it isn't quite that way. I think that for the most part, we can say that adult animation has a watermark in a way that a lot of shows that are live action do not.
Yeah, which I think is good. You can like feel the personality kind of shine through. The only one this season that hasn't felt like that for me is Castlevania, where I know who the main I know who the main writer of that show is, but it does not feel like Warren Ellis's Castlevania.
That's a good point.
The writer room kind of feels a little more hidden there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
But I like that. I like things that feel like they have I don't believe in auteur theory. Obviously I know, dozens to hundreds of hands go into creating a work.
Sure.
Especially television, It's different when you're literally writing a book, obviously. But like for TV and movies and stuff, auteur theory, obviously. There's crews of 100 people that touch these things.
Right. Yeah, I always love it when people are like, so many people had to make this decision,
Yeah.
And it's so true.
Think of how many meetings were spent over these 3 seconds of a movie or whatever.
Exactly.
But I like stuff that feels like it has kind of an auteur touch to it. I think we get that in podcasting a lot. Like, Welcome to Night Vale is the Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner thing.
Oh, okay.
Magnus Archives is the Jonathan Sims thing,
also true.
And whatnot. I like shows that have like an intentional through line or an intentional like creator vision, no matter how many people end up contributing to that in the end. I like things with like strong aesthetics and strong vision that they want to push for.
I think that I'm just really glad you picked this show, Ben. At first, I was like, I really wish you hadn't picked this show because I don't know about this, But now
I was a little worried. I was like, is this too? Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm really glad that you picked it because I think that this is a conversation that if we're going to talk about adult animation, we can't shy away from it forever.
Of course,
we got to talk about it eventually. So I think that it was a good choice. I like it.
Yeah. And again, there's a lot from this show I wish didn't make it into the show. Multiple characters are like confirmed, abusive. Like that's part of their plot lines. I don't care for that.
I don't know about that.
And obviously it's got some comedy that's gone sour and was sour at the time, to be sure. Like it's clear this was created out of a genuine love for like 60s Hanna-Barbera bullshit and out of a genuine love for stuff like Hardy Boys and whatnot. Mm-hmm. You cannot tell me the creators of this show do not like that shit.
Just an interest to do once again something different because it was at the time this was new and this was interesting and cool and fun and novel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. Good choice overall. Good choice, Ben. Like I said, I was cringing for sure at first, but then I was what? It's we should talk about it. So yeah.
Yeah. I worried about that when I picked it. I half of me was like, should I just bail and say Lower Decks for my third staff pick?
Sure.
Because I do love Star Trek.
Right.
But no.
I'm really glad this was the move. This was the choice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fully endorse that. I'm really glad that we got to talk about this, to be honest.
Do you want to talk about favorite jokes?
I do. I would like to hear yours first.
I think I really do like Rusty Venture talking about masturbation and then realizing this is an inappropriate conversation to have with a new acquaintance.
Okay.
And then immediately doing the can I get you a brew?
Can I get you a brew? That timing was so good, I have to say. It was so good. For me, I think similarly, because the thing is you have to pick a favorite joke out of like the most sophomoric jokes, right? Right. But for me, I have to say mine had to be when the brothers went in to quote unquote save Brock, and we're watching Brock like having rough BDSM sex only through Brock's, like on the outside looking in, and it looked like he was, like in a fight or whatever, and then you saw him like thrusting his hips and like doing the like kissing and stuff, and I thought I laughed the hardest at that for sure.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite. That was quite well done.
Patrick Warburton's delivery of, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah.
when he's like super overwhelmed by enemies.
Yes. It was all very good. Also, I read that apparently, problematic as it was on its own right, that the ASL that was present in the episode is apparently very accurate. It's apparently very accurate. Yeah. So there you go. So there's that, I guess.
That was the only joke where I was kind of like, I couldn't tell if something was going over my head.
I think it was a plot point in a previous episode.
It must have been.
It was. It was a previous episode's plot point where like this was actually a character. Like this wasn't just some random like joke they were making about deaf people. Like this was apparently, from what I read anyway, like an actual character that existed. So
okay, all right. Well, that makes sense. It's connected to the plot then, because there was a moment I was like, "Am I overthinking this joke, or is the joke under thought, or whatever?"
It's.
Am I missing something? That was the only time I was like, "Am I missing something about this scene?"
Yes, you were, and the thing you were missing.
And
was
the answer is
apparently,
plot context.
Yeah, plot context. Yeah.
As for I really like the hanky panky joke. I think otherwise just the God, the fucking delivery on "though I hath smelt it, I am not the one who has dealt it."
Oh yeah.
It's very funny.
Yes, it was.
I don't know. There's a lot of really funny, small, humorous moments in this, but hell, I think Rusty and Dr. Orpheus leaving Orpheus's office, and then there's like a 2-second pause, and then Orpheus comes back in and says, "No, I told you it was unlocked."
Oh yeah, okay, that was really, really good. I laughed really hard at that too, actually. Now that I think about it, that was a really solid joke.
They do like anti-punchlines sometimes, where like by extending the joke, it doesn't strive into like the awkward humor that makes me like tense up.
Right.
And it's not anti-humor like in its technical sense.
Right.
But by extending but they like dilute their own punchlines in a way that I find really enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe that, because it's not anti-humor, quote unquote, like Andy Kaufman stuff or whatever.
Right. Because it obviously is, like there is a joke there. I think it's just the comedic timing, man. It's just all about that timing.
Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it other than really good timing and like they spoil their own punchlines.
Yeah.
In a really fun way. Anyway, that's what I like about the Venture Brothers.
Right on. Well, right on.
Also, I like, I think the beginning of the very next episode, they do an entire sequence of dialogue that is 100% lyrical references to both Space Oddity and Ashes to Ashes, the David Bowie songs. To the point where literally an astronaut who's crashing back into the planet yells, "Tell my wife I love her very much," and someone interrupts loudly, "She knows!"
Oh my god.
It's just corny. Like, you can't tell me these guys don't love the shit they're making fun of.
Sure. And I think that, again, like that's what makes it work.
Yeah, absolutely. That the love for that material shines through.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks.
Well,
my name's Ben.
My name's Lesley. We got one left. Oh, don't know what it's going to be yet. It's either going to be, well, I don't want to say,
Well, it's either way, it's Leslie's staff pick.
It's my staff pick, so it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, you'll find out in about 2 weeks' time. Folks, you can find me online at Ben C. Hamlin. I won't burden y'all with a bunch of plugs, but just check out infinitybreak.net where we tell stories our own way. And follow me on Twitter at Ben C. Hamlin. Let's see, where can people find you?
Oh, as always, people can find me at Vanetti, Vanetti on Twitter. I talk about all sorts of stuff. To be honest, it's always a good time. Come be my friend.
Hell yeah. It's so easy.
Oh, yeah. It's so easy.
Yeah,
I make it so easy.
Start talking about Doctor Who.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's how we met. Aw.
That's how we met.
That's so sweet.
Wild day for Doctor Who, today of all days.
Man, oh man, no kidding.
Now you know when we recorded this.
Yep.
Anyway, check out infinitybreak.net where we're telling stories our own way. Check out Sneeple at the Movies, and the other show that I'm on, Parascience, as well as Legends of Leia. Highly encourage you to check out all of our other work. If you'd like to support the show, please tell your friends. 5-star reviews on Apple. You know the deal. If you listen to podcasts, you know how to support a podcast.
You know how good. You know this works. You can do it.
We'll be back with one final episode of our adult animated series, and then Lesley and I need to figure out what's next.
We do. We will tell you what it is next
We
time
will
because
tell
we
you
will
what
have
it
it
is.
figured out by then. We will have it figured
Yeah.
out by then. We promise.
Absolutely, we promise.
Pinky swear.
That being said, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for listening.
See ya.